Good morning once again, my leaders. Our topic today will be communication skills, specifically focused on how to approach prospects. So the first step is, the first impression that you make, because how a person views you for the first time will determine whether or not they are willing to listen to you. Just like all of us, if you meet someone at the mall, the way they greet you, the way they talk to you, what you talk about will determine whether you're going to remember that person or not. Same applies to our prospects. So one thing I've learned when you are prospecting, you always have to ask yourself, if someone was to approach me this way, selling whatever product that they are selling or whatever business opportunity that they are selling, would I be interested in listening to what they've got to say? And not just first impression, but also one thing I've learned is how you approach people differs with the type of person that you are approaching. So I'm just going to look at blanket things that apply to everyone. Then at the end, I will give examples or just tips of how to approach different types of people. So the first one, which is something that we always learn in the 5 a.m. session, is be warm, be confident, and be professional. So start with a smile. When you greet people, don't be, your face is so serious, it's scary, because then they are not going to listen to you. One thing I've learned, once you smile, most people are willing to stop and listen to what you have to say. Then you have to be confident and you have to be professional. I love the professional part because most people think professional is just what I'm going to say. Professional also applies to how you present yourself as an individual. So if you look at Forever as a side hustle, it's something that you do on the side. You're not looking at it as a business. You don't treat it as such. For example, if you are going to work, there's a certain way that you are going to dress. Why? Because you say, oh, this is work. I need to look professional when I meet clients. But we don't think about that when we are doing our business. You are going out to the mall, you want to prospect. How you present yourself, the way that you are dressed, someone can look at you and be like, if she looks like this and she has a business opportunity, then let it pass me. Why? You haven't even spoken anything, but just by looking at you, you are not presented as a business owner. So I'm not saying that when you go out, always wear a suit, dress formal, but be decent, dress appropriately, dress smart. Your clothes must be clean, well kept. If it's a shirt that needs to be ironed, let it be ironed, so that when you are approaching people, you look like a business person. You don't look like someone who's coming to beg for $2 for two rent, So be warm. Yes, you're going to be smiling at people. If you smile at me, especially for ladies, it's so tricky because you can smile at someone because you want to, approach them for the business. But sometimes, if it's a person of the opposite sex, and sometimes even if it's other women, the way that you are dressed might be giving a different picture, and that person, they stop thinking, oh, here's this beautiful lady, all exposed, smiling at me. Oh, today is my lucky day. And yet you want to present the business. Do you think that person is going to listen? Probably not. So how you present yourself, always be professional. It doesn't have to be a formal dress. You can be in casual and still look decent. So always, whenever you go out, present yourself like a professional. Present yourself as someone who is clean, someone who is smart. Your clothes are washed, they are ironed, you've brushed your teeth, your mouth is not smelling a certain way, your hair, maybe you've combed it, you've brushed it, whatever the case might be, but you are looking presentable for the next person. I've already said smile. Even on the phone, it shows in your voice. There are certain people that when you are speaking to them on the phone, you can tell this person is not interested or this person is not smiling. When you are cheery and you are smiling, even on the phone, it shows. So when we say smile, it's not just for the people that you're going to meet face to face. Even when you're talking to a prospect over the phone, have a smile on your face, have a like warm attitude so that they can also receive you better. Then use their name early and often. I was reading this book about the psychology of people, and I was starting to learn that as people, we are always interested in ourselves. If someone is talking to me, yes, I'm listening to them, but I'm trying to figure out how does this conversation benefit me in the long run? What is it that I have to gain? We are always in the me, me, me. So if you approach someone, you get their name, you master it, and you start using it. It makes them more attentive to what you have to say. So don't be that person who's like, this name, your name is so difficult. Then you start maybe referring to them as, you're doing a presentation or you're talking to someone and you're saying, you when you want to, na, 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 and you're not using their name. So master people's names and start using them. It makes them more attentive to what you have to say because it shows that you have made an effort to learn their name. Say it incorrect, but say it anyway and learn it, and don't try to shorten and give people nicknames because you cannot pronounce their names. In some cases, it might not be as professional, especially if it's like a business presentation kind of setting or a formal kind of setting. Unless they suggest to say, my name is Heather, but you can call me H. Then you use H. But if you can, try to master their full name and say it out because it just makes you stick out from the rest of the people. Then be genuinely interested in them. Like I said, people are always about me, 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 me. So what I do when I approach people, I don't just come and say, hi, my name is Heather. I'm from Forever. We have this, we have a marketing plan. You can make 30%. We have car incentives. You don't do that when you are approaching prospects. You have to be interested in them, which means when we make our initial contact and I greet you, now I know your name. Now I'm going to ask about you. What is it that you do? If you are in the mall, you're like, oh, what are you looking for today? In their shopping, their what? Be interested in them and what they are doing. Allow them to be the first to speak. And when they are speaking, they are talking about themselves. Make sure you are listening because already in listening, you are refining your pitch or you start to lead the conversation towards what you want to do. Either you want to sell them products or you want to do like a business. So let's say you've gone to the gym. You don't just say anyone you meet, hi, I'm Heather from Forever. We have C9. It's a 9-day program. It does, you know, hi, how are you doing? Oh, I'm seeing you here for the first time. You know, why are you here? What is your goal? Oh, okay. Do you have a trainer? Are you in any of the clubs? What type of exercises have you been doing? Have you lost some weight? Some people are trying to gain some weight. Have you gained weight? Okay, how many kilos? All right. How long has it taken you to lose the 3 kilos? Oh, I see. That's good. Now, you start introducing your product because now you understand why are they in the gym? What is their goal? What have they achieved so far? If they said, no, this past 3 months, I've only lost 3 kilos, you're already thinking C9. You're already directing the conversation to C9. But if you just approached them and said, hi, I'm Heather, I'm selling C9, do you think they would buy it? No. But also, like I said, think of it from your perspective. If someone just approached you and said, hi, I'm selling this, even you would look at them somehow. You wouldn't pay attention. Why? They don't know you. I don't know you. You don't know me. What gives you the confidence to just come and say, hi, here is a box of C9. Hi, you need to lose weight. So be genuinely interested in the prospect. Don't rush into the presentation, whether it's the product, whether it's the business. Take time to understand them, their goals, what they are trying to achieve. If it's a business presentation you want to do, find out what is it that you do. Are you working? Oh, okay. Where are you working? Which area are you in? The more you are doing that, people start to get comfortable around you because the conversation is just free. We are getting to know each other. By the time you are inviting them for a presentation, they already feel like, oh, this is a friendship that is blossoming, or they already feel like, oh, I think, like they are starting to know you, or like they know you. It's different from a stranger just coming and say, hi, we have a presentation on Saturday. Are you gonna come? You know, so build a rapport with the person that you are talking to. I hope I have people in the morning. Sometimes I tend to go on and on, but let me know you are there in the chat. Like I said, build rapport with people, ask open-ended questions. So maybe it's an ad that you did on Instagram. Ask them, what made you interested in this? Maybe they just replied, I want to attend. Don't just say, oh, yes, come, the venue is 1, 2, 3. No. What made you interested in this? What are you looking for? Okay, where are you based? Ask questions to get them talking. If you look at it, those people that come to you and they're like, how much is C9? And you say it's 2,500. How many of them have ever bought? What is your rate of return from those kind of people? Sometimes it's very low. But the people who say, I want to buy this, or how much is this product? And then you start asking them, what made you interested in the product? What is your goal? You want to lose weight. How many kilos do you want to lose? Are you someone who exercises? What are your eating habits? What other products have you tried before? How did that work out for you? And then now you start to explain the product. By the time you are done with that conversation, most of the times it's easier to close the sale than when you just reply, hi, it's 2,400 and whatever, you send them a screenshot of the products. So ask open-ended questions. Mirror their tone and pace. Don't try to rush them. There are some people that want you to be slow. There are some people that are, high energy. Some people are low energy, like myself. I'm very low energy. Sometimes I get irritated when someone is too hyper, around me. If it's a formal setting, before you go and talk to people, look at, okay, how is the environment? How are people interacting? Are they like all serious? Are they, a bit loose up that I can go make a joke, make them laugh, be able to read the room in summary. Then find common ground. So let's take, for example, that gym idea that I was speaking about. my prospect, I've asked them, how long have you been coming to the gym? Are you in any of the classes? Maybe they mention a class, you're like, oh, okay, I'm also in the same class, or I'm not in that class, but I'm doing biking. Maybe I can consider joining your class. What is it that you do in your class? I can also tell them, you know what, I've also been trying to lose weight for years and I struggle. My weight fluctuates. Sometimes I lose it and then I gain it back. And then she'll be like, oh, yes, it happens to me as well. Sometimes I lose weight and then I relax, but then I start to gain it back. Then you're asking, oh, so how do you do it? How do you manage, when you've lost weight now, how do you maintain it? They are going to share whatever they are sharing. And then you're like, oh, okay, no, I have a product that I'm using. Maybe you start introducing things like your Garcinia. It helps me with suppressing my cravings. It helps me with 1, 2, 3. Or I drink a product called aloe vera gel. It helps me to cleanse my system, so that I flush out all the toxins out of my body. And they're like, oh, okay, how does that one work? Now you are already explaining the product to them without you telling them that you are a forever business owner and you sell the product. And they are actually interested in understanding the product because you have brought it up in a place of common ground, in a place where they don't feel pressured to buy whatever you are talking about. They are just thinking, I'm talking to a fellow person. And because they relate to you, they know that, oh, you are struggling. They actually want to learn to say, oh, okay, so what is it that you are doing? How are you managing the weight? How many kilos have you lost? Now you start talking about, no, I did the C9 and I'm working with it in combination with my exercising and my personal trainer. Can you recommend some exercises that I can be doing that are working for you? And then even just though, so where do you get this aloe vera gel that you're talking about? There's an online shop. I can share the online shop. You can buy the product, or I can, bring it for you tomorrow when I come to the gym. This is the price. That person is more likely to buy from you than someone you've just approached and spoken to about the product. So in that, you are also sharing a bit about yourself so that the person can relate to you. I do that as well when I go to the hospital, when I do my checkups for my heart, when I'm sitting there with the patients, isn't they make you sit, you start talking to people, so, oh, what's wrong? What's your issue? How are you managing it? Create conversation with everyone that you meet. And sometimes we can even end the conversation without me even bringing up the products, the forever, the what. But next time I come for my check-in and I meet that person again, you know what? They're the ones that are going to greet me. They're like, oh, hi, how are you doing? I saw you. I remember you. You start to spark a conversation. Oh, how have you been doing? No, I've been great. There are these supplements that I'm using and I'm seeing a big difference. Now they are interested in the supplements. So in approaching people, I would just say establish trust before you want to sell. But the challenge is we are so focused on the CCs. I need to close my 4cc now. I need to sell this product. And in doing that, sometimes we push the prospects away. Okay, so build rapport. And in when you're building rapport, remember you are already listening to the issues that the person had. If they were talking about, yeah, I'm working, I have a good job, my salary is good, but the working hours are crazy. You are already building a solution in your mind. Now your next point is, would you be interested in joining us this Saturday? We are going to be sharing a business opportunity that you can partner with us, generate extra income, and maybe you can then be able to reduce your working hours, be more flexible, see your kids often, pick them up from school. So now when you are doing your pitch, you are presenting something that is a solution to their problem. The biggest mistake that we make is we assume that everyone is looking for extra income. Everyone is looking for money because that's what you were looking for. Some people are not interested in the money. Some people want the time. Some people are not interested in the money. They have the money, they have the time, but their health is failing them. So when you are building rapport, you are starting to understand what does this person want, so that when you do your pitch, it speaks to them and their needs. So link the benefits directly to the needs of the person that you are speaking to. Keep it simple, keep it focused. Don't try to now do a whole 30-minute presentation and complicate it and start talking about supervisor and manager and the car plans and keep it simple. Just address their needs. If you're interested, come through to the presentation. We are having the presentation here. Will you be able to make it? And also from speaking to them, maybe you already know where they stay, the general area. You are inviting them to the relevant place, because sometimes we can say, come through to our presentation in Pretoria, and the person stays in Alberton. Now they have to drive, or they stay in Rustenburg. So now when you know the general area, even when you're inviting them, okay, this one, I think she can come to Inani, or this one, she's closer to the product center, so she can, come to the presentation at the product center already, share a quick story or testimony about yourself, about the product, or if it's the business, let them know. I always tell them, like, if someone tells me they are looking for extra hours, I always tell them, I am an accountant. I was also in the same position that you are in. I used to work long hours. I never used to see my family, but now I've managed to free up my time. I'm able to spend more time with my family. I'm also able to do other things that I love, like traveling. Now, me sharing that story, now they start to say, oh, okay, here's a person who's actually been able to achieve what I'm trying to do. Or even if you haven't achieved it, you can introduce it as, I am working towards getting that freedom, and I've been able to make a little bit of progress, reduce my hours, maybe even if it's just an hour or two, I've freed up my time to be able to do one, two, three. So you are now sharing a quick story or testimonial. If this is someone that you are meeting face to face, I would always recommend sharing your story, not your upline, not your colleague. Share your story. You want them to connect with you. And I always say in the 5 a.m. session that it doesn't have to be a big fancy thing. Your story can just be, I used to struggle with money. I still struggle with money, but now I have an extra 350 and it's helping me to buy bread and stuff for my kids' lunchbox. It doesn't have to be that you are making R1 million a month or you're making hundreds of thousands. Share your story at whatever level you are in the business, because you are already showing progress. You're already showing, you know what, I used to borrow money. But now even if I'm making extra income, even if it's 1,500, that 1,500 goes towards my fuel, and I don't need to be borrowing my friends' money to go to work anymore. That story is so much easier for the person that you meet in the street to relate to than you telling them about a car that costs 10 million, because then it becomes like she's overselling it. It becomes something that they cannot process or comprehend, too good to be true. Now you start looking like a scammer. Imagine someone you don't know comes up to you and says, I have a business opportunity for you, and there's car plans. You can travel, you can make 100,000 a month. Then already you're looking at them like, oh, this one, they think I'm foolish. I'm going to fall for their trick. So keep it simple, keep it short, share your story at whatever level that you are at. Emphasize the value of the product, not just the features. So if you are selling a product, how is this going to add value to me? So this one that I was speaking to, she's struggling with maintaining her weight after she's lost, or she's struggling with she's exercising, yes, but she's struggling with reducing her cravings and eating junk food. Now, this product is adding value because it suppresses those sugar cravings. Now, when she combines it with her workout, she's going to get the results that she needs. Maybe I haven't sold a C9, but because I've sold them a product that is relevant to them, they are going to use it and they are going to get the results. Next time when I recommend a different product, there is that trust to say, you know what, I can trust this person because the last time the product that they sold me, it really helped me. But if you make a sale because you want the money now, yes, you might make the sale. But if the person doesn't get the value, you cannot make a second sale with that person. Maybe you've created a person that is going to go out there and say forever products don't work simply because you wanted to make an extra 160. So emphasize the value, share the value, and recommend the right products for the right people. No matter how much you might want the CCs and the money, let your excitement show about the business, about the products, but stay genuine. Don't lie to people. Okay. This, I think I've already explained the slide. Understand their needs. So, what's your biggest challenge right now? Listen to them as they are speaking. Take notes so that when you are presenting now, you've personalized, identify their goals, their pain points, and, have an understanding of them before you move on. So, this I think I've already explained. Handle objections with confidence. Sometimes, it's not always going to be a yes. Not everyone is going to want to speak to you at that point for different reasons. Maybe they are in a hurry, they don't have the time to stand and chat to you. Maybe they've had a bad experience with Forever. Maybe they're just having a bad day and they're going to be rude to you. But stay calm and open. Don't get defensive. Don't try to force them, and don't try to, no. Just stay calm, stay open. It's fine. I understand you are busy right now. You don't have the time. May I get your number? Maybe we can chat later. Or I understand that you had a bad experience about the product. Were you aware that, you could have returned the product and gotten your money guarantee, or maybe can I offer you something else that you can try because now you know what they wanted to solve, things like that. So stay open. Don't get defensive. No, 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 this works. I've been doing it. I can guarantee you it works. You can make the money. There's this and that. Already you are like in defensive mode. It's like you are fighting them. You are what? Be able to handle objections well. Because if you stay calm, if you listen to them and you accept what their concerns are, when you suggest a solution, they are more willing to listen than when you become defensive because now it becomes an argument and all of that. Ask questions to uncover the real hesitation. Maybe someone says, no, I'm not interested in the business. You can ask simple questions just to find out maybe they're doing something else, na 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 na. But before you leave, always circle back to the value that you are offering. Try to get their number. Let me get your number. Let's just stay in touch. If you ever reconsider, then maybe you know how to get a hold of me, or I understand that you're not interested in the business. I understand that you're not interested in the product, but I would really love to continue chatting with you because we have the same goals towards weight loss. Maybe we can share tips with each other in terms of exercise routines and all of that. So, yes, you're not interested in the business, but we have this thing that we have in common. Can we stay friends or can we stay connected and maybe just work out together sometime? Or maybe you can show me, some of the equipment, how it works if I'm new to the gym, they can give you their number for that. You stay in touch. But if you haven't established something that you have in common, it becomes difficult to circle back to, yes, you don't want this part, but we can do this together because it's something that we have in common. I'm running out of time. I think I talk too much and I over explained. So I've run out of time. I think I'm left with 6 minutes, 5 minutes actually. Let me see how far we can get. Okay. Step 6 is close the sale. Um, Ask directly but naturally. Maybe they've shown interest in the business. Shall we get started today? You know, Offer choices. This is business opportunity, right? Would you prefer the starter pack, the startup combo, or would you prefer maybe to start with a lesser price? Give them choices because sometimes they say no because they are looking at 7,000 and it's a lot for them. But if you give them choices, you could start with 3,000 and this is how you would build your way up to full membership. We could start with helping you with marketing the products, getting orders, so that at least when you start, you know that you have income that is coming in. So offer them choices. Same with the products. We have a lot of products that do sometimes do the same thing. Okay, they want weight loss, but they can't afford C9. What other choices do they have? This is someone that is already exercising. They say they can't afford C9, but they already have the discipline to exercise. What they're just struggling with is maintaining their eating habits. Maybe take the aloe vera gel and the Garcinia for now. See how that works out, and then we can then move to C9. You are offering your prospect or your customer choices, options. Maybe sign up as a preferred customer and get a 5% discount. Or if you are someone like for me, when I go to the hospital and I'm speaking to people that have a chronic condition, I'll be like, yes, these are the products that I'm using. Yes, you are interested in them. You want to start using them as well. But look at it this way. Your condition is chronic. You are going to have to be buying these products every single time. Here's an option. Buy the Start Your Journey combo and then get your 30% discount. So offer your clients, your prospects, different types of options when you are speaking to them. Use agency in terms of limited offers. This we do when we know the price is going to increase, and then we're like, the price is fixed at this amount for now, but it's going to increase. It's going to what, so that it makes them make a decision faster. Okay, if they hesitate, return to the benefits. If they agree, we celebrate, we close. And a sale is only closed, as I always say, a sale is closed when you have delivered and you have received the money. If they haven't paid you yet, it's not a sale. You haven't closed anything. If they say, yes, I'm going to join, I want to join, I'll send money tomorrow. It's not a sale because tomorrow they can wake up and say no. So we only recognize a closing once the product has exchanged hands and you have received your money. Then you know that I've closed the sale and I can celebrate. Okay, I have a few more other slides, but I just have 1 minute left, so I won't be able to go through them. It was just me trying to give tips on how to approach different types of people, but maybe we can do that in another session if I ever get the chance to finish. But let me know in the chat. We have less than a minute, so I don't think everyone will have an opportunity to speak, but you can type even in our WhatsApp group. Just let me know Did you find value? Did I answer your question in terms of how do you approach people, what to look out for? What other topics would you like us to look at? I'm always there as a backup speaker, so if someone can show up, I can quickly whip up a presentation and, address some of the questions that you might have. But thank you so much for waking up today and joining today's 5 a.m. session. I wish you all a very, very productive day, and you are welcome to exit the meeting.